stay with Arsenal then, and your specialist subject, of course, your chosen subjects, our mastermind tonight, is strikers, Dean. Let's talk about Viktor Gyökeres, because he is struggling, and he struggled again last night. Why isn't it working, do you feel, for him? You mentioned it a little bit with Saka, you know, saying he's not quite getting what he assists, you know, and he's not really doing it, is he?
I think, first of all, it's a big change in terms of the style of football that the team he's playing for adopts, and he's used to playing for a side where there is space to run. That is his biggest asset. His intelligence of movement, and he's a powerful runner in behind. I think that is his biggest strength, and when he's got that to run into, I think we'd see a better version of him. Now, when a team is sitting deep against Arsenal, I think he's finding it difficult to really understand those small movements that are probably needed. And it doesn't feel yet as if there's that real understanding with anyone in terms of when they're going to deliver and when he's going to move and how he's going to move. That can take time or might never happen, but that's the key component, is that understanding between you and the player that's going to supply you with the service to score goals. Whether that's working on that in training, whether sometimes you just have it with somebody and you can't understand why, you just do. That hasn't happened yet for him. And then what you don't want to see is that it gets to a point where he's lost his confidence, and then he stops doing the things that made him the player that got him signed in the first place. And there's just been a couple of signs that worries me about that confidence level with him.
Well, let's take a look at it, because we picked a couple of crosses from last night. You know, what do you feel he should be doing then?
Well, I think the problem is when you get stuck, which is just stuck almost to the hip of the defender. So there's no movement both near, far, you know, there's no multiple... Again, it's a prime example of a player that's not confident, that's not sure of when the ball is going to... You can see he's waiting. He doesn't really know when it is going to arrive. He's almost stuttering but not moving and getting stuck in the position that he's in with almost the hip of the defender. That's a worrying sign of a lack of confidence, I think, in stop doing. And again, this screams a striker that's got no idea when the ball is coming in. It's just got no idea. So he's not alert. There's that lack of movement. He gets stuck again to the hip of the defender, and that's a player that's not confident the ball's coming in when he thinks it is. And that's the worry that I would have, is if this continues, is that he's losing the confidence in when the delivery is arriving, and the confidence in sticking to what he's good at, which is that dynamic movement in every part of his game.
Gary Lineker, who knows a thing or two about scoring goals, says that he needs to gamble more. Would you agree with that? Is that what he needs to do with his game?
Yeah, and again, he's absolutely right. And that's what it is. That's what it is for a striker, is sometimes you don't know when the ball is coming in. You are gambling as to when it's coming in. You don't know where it's going to land. You're gambling at where it might land. The idea is that you make 1 or 2 or 3 movements to get away from your defender, and you hope your teammate sees it, plays the ball in, and you can score the goal. What you can't happen is what's happening in those clips is you're stuck. You don't know when to run. You don't know if the ball is coming, and you've lost your confidence to just gamble anyway. And that's the big issue is. And also, I think when you go to a side like Arsenal and you have that big move, you can very quickly forget why you're there, why they bought you, your attributes, and you think you have to be something that you're not. I don't know if he's reading things or comments as to what he should be and what they want him to be. He's got to remember what he is and still continue to do those things and trust that when he gets in the position, he can take the chances.
What would your advice to him be? Would it to be go and talk to his teammates? Would it to be train on his move?
Yeah.
You know, what would be the advice?
Yeah, I would demand a lot from my teammates in terms of what I want. You know, I know there's some talented players, but I've been brought in for a reason, to score goals. Help me do it. Let me be the main person that scores the goals, because we've got this connection and we've had a talk, and there should be like, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves that you've just worked on that between the two of you that are just there before you do anything spontaneous with those players. And I'm sure they're working on plenty of things in training. What can't happen is that lack of confidence and that you stop doing the things that made you a good player because you've gone into your shell and you end up hiding away from it.
Yeah, I hear you. Let's take a look at how to get it right then, and you can maybe talk us through this, Dean. I mean, this is a player that's in his pomp.
Well, I mean, you need unbelievable hamstring flexibility to
Still got it?
To get your leg. But again, that's just me gambling towards the near post. That's obviously Gareth Southgate that I've just nipped in front of to score that goal. God forbid I ever have. If someone offered me that hair back, I wouldn't want it. Forget about a hair transplant. I think
it looks very strong performance from your hair and from you as well. But like you say, it was a gamble. You probably weren't quite sure where that ball was going.
No, and again, I go back to the clips of Gyökeres. The lack of movement is a lack of confidence. It's not a lack of intelligence. It's a lack of confidence in when the ball is being delivered or in yourself to keep, making those runs, waiting for that opportunity.
Yeah, OK. So in terms of Gyökeres, at the moment, obviously, he was substituted yesterday. Does Kai Havertz start in his place if he's fit, do you feel?
Well, if you're at a club like Arsenal, you don't just keep getting chance after chance after chance after chance. They need players that are going to score goals if they want to win the league. They need players that will take the chances and be clinical in tough games. And he'll understand that. The manager will probably understand it, and Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, will be knocking on the manager's door, hopefully saying, he's not doing it. It's my chance to have an opportunity. So that's what you get in an elite level club, is you have to perform, and no one's going to feel sorry for you. You've got to do that. You've got to do that yourself. I've seen enough of him, and the goals that he scored. He's talented enough. He knows where the goal is. And a bit like, I thought Šeško was a perfect example against Burnley, a player that looked bereft of confidence. His touch was off. This talented player that we'd seen, can't understand why. He scores that instinctive goal, and then the second one looks so easy because the pressure's been lifted and he just cruises in. It was a great bit of movement from him. He went back post to near, side foot. It looked so easy because he was confident.
How much is it also on the teammates not to lose confidence in him as well? Because you talk about confidence from Gyökeres, but will there be a time where actually, and perhaps you've had this before in your career, where you think that player is just not quite clicking and you end up losing confidence in them as well? Is that a worry for you?
Yeah, because we're all selfish. So if I'm a winger and I'm doing something brilliant and I beat my defender and I put in a fantastic delivery that somebody should be scoring from, or in an area where you're expecting your forward to be, then that should frustrate them. I would hope it would frustrate them. So it works both ways, but that's why you've got to work incredibly hard as a pair to get that understanding to make it work. And I really do hope it works for him. And it's so hard because there isn't patience anymore. I
remember talking to Andy Cole, and he talked about his telepathy with Dwight Yorke. He said that we didn't have to talk, we just did it. Is that something you ever experienced? That kind of like you just knew it was there for you? And
yeah, I think a couple of times you get those partnerships where I arrived in January twice and got a great understanding straight away with Leon McKenzie and Marlon Harewood at Norwich and at West Ham. We didn't work on it specifically. There was that connection when you played with two strikers. I bet Gyökeres would love to have a mate next to him to sort of bounce off.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You could see the way he was trying to clear that ball. It was an awkward kind of turn what he done on his. You could see it, and you can almost see the way he kicked the ball out. When you watch him, you could see that Gabriel Martinelli, he actually wasn't looking at him, so he wouldn't have seen how he's gone down. So all that, again, I don't even like seeing it. All that's happening, but he's not seen that, because as soon as I saw that, the way he went down trying to clear it, he wasn't in contact with anybody. So I'm thinking, you know what I mean, he's done something there. And That's not good. It doesn't look good. I'm really sorry to see that. Hopefully it's not too bad for him.
Yeah, we keep our fingers crossed for Conor Bradley. So he didn't finish the game, but in the first half, ironically, he was the closest to breaking the deadlock with this situation that happened.
Great play from him, wasn't it?
It was.
Really good play.
Liverpool did this a couple of times, right, as well. Played out from the back, really nice 1-2 touch football, breaking quite quickly. I mean, it was Arsenal's first half, no question about it, but it was a nice move, and then the ball breaks back to Bradley. We were just debating, you were saying maybe if you go a little bit higher, take a bit of the pace off further into the corner.
Kind of tried to curl it over towards the post because it's gone so straight. Look, it's
flat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's flat. It just needed a little bit of like that loop towards the post. But like, he's a defender. He's only scored one goal for Liverpool, but it's a great effort from him. But like, it's just got too much pace on it.
And with less pace, Timber may get back. I'm not sure, but I mean, it was a great effort. Great effort. His through ball was pretty average, actually. It should have been a better one to Frimpong. But when the ball came back to him, he did pretty much everything right.
Just a quick one on what Arne Slot was saying there about trying to break teams down who defend deep and sit behind the ball. It's a problem. He gets a bit spiky when he's asked about it, Arne Slot, but he's just admitted it is an issue. They have work to do there in terms of that.
But it is the hardest thing to do, of course, when you're counter-attacking. When you're playing against less people, let's say, then it's obviously easy. There's more space. When you're playing against a deep defence that are defending in numbers, there's no space in behind. It takes a little bit of craft. It takes width. It takes a Wirtz to be in those pockets, and that's probably what they bought him for, to be good in those tight spaces. And it takes a lot of the time an early goal. And an early goal then opens things up. The longer it goes, the harder it becomes. Long-range shooting as well. You know, you become a little bit desperate. That's what Liverpool have ended up doing a little bit today. But yeah, low blocks will always be difficult to score against. That's why people do it. That's why people come here to the Emirates and play against Arsenal, and a lot of the time they do it themselves.
The thing about it is the player that they had, what was brilliant in that, just Luis Diaz. So if you're not going to replace like for like for the low block, then you're probably going to end up with games like that, because you look at Frimpong, unbelievable pace, he gets down there, but his end product seems to be something that he's lacking at the moment. But like, you get rid of a Luis Diaz who can open teams up with a low block with his skill, his trickery, and you lose that and you don't replace that, then you are going to have a problem with it.
Okay, that is the Liverpool reaction.